Hello everybody, welcome to another Facebook Live with Jeannie. I am Jeannie Nielsen, the card lady, and I'm very excited to be here with you today. I'm a little disorganized. Story of my life. I worked the last 2 nights, so I slept a good part of today and I woke up and my goodness, for some reason I'm just out of sorts. But that's okay. I'm going to have fun stamping with you today. So July 1st was the beginning of Sale-a-bration. Hi Roxanne, good to see you. We started Sale-a-bration and I'm very excited about one of these stamp sets and dies, the Hippo stamp set and dies. And I was thinking about what I was going to do today and I realized that I had made a card. Judy Tuttle and I collaborated on the Elephant Parade card class. And I decided, and I'll show this again to you when I flip down, and especially when we compare, but I decided that I was going to case this card. Now, casing is called copy and share everything. I think it's an acronym for other things. I can't remember what they are. I've always known it as copy and share everything. So, thankfully, there are other people that have great ideas, and this card with this layout is one of those great ideas. So I'm going to use it to make a hippo card. The hippos are one of our Sale-a-bration items. Hippest Hippos, and they're so cute. They are really adorable. So I'm going to make a card just like this one. So this has the elephant. I'm going to make it with the hippos. The hippos, just like the Elephant Parade stamp set, has matching dies. So we're going to have fun. I've already cut the pieces. I really know what in my mind what I want it to look like. I haven't cut all the pieces, but I started die cutting and I've got my mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. So I'll be doing a little bit of that along the way. A little bit of coloring of the hippos, and then we're going to put the card together and we're going to see how similar this is. It's going to be similar. I did end up thinking that maybe the hippo could have used, because of what I want to do, the hippo needed a bigger circle. So I used a bigger circle. But without further ado, I'm going to flip down and we're going to start stamping. Thanks so much for joining me today. Make sure you like and share my video and make sure you leave comments because I am randomly selecting people to receive these cards. And I have to say, I didn't go through last week's, but so stay tuned. I'll send you a private message if you're the one that I have chosen to send some cards to. But make sure you do, comment again this time. So here we go. I'm going to flip down and we're going to have some fun. Make sure you're subscribed to my email list so you can get the recipe for this. Here we go. Okay, upside down. So sorry about that. So this is my host code for July if you are so inspired to place an order. Don't forget, I'm doing my Stampin' Scoops promotion again, which means with every $40 order, you get a scoop. And yes, I have scoops to tally, and I haven't done that yet either. It really threw me for a loop. I ended up working extra this July 4th weekend to cover sick calls at the hospital. So I haven't slept a whole lot the last couple of days. But anyway, Sale-a-bration, with every $50 or $100 order, you get these great stamps or dies. The thing I want to point out to you is that with all of these, it's a while supplies last. I am going to guarantee, this is just in my mind, when Stampin' Up! Makes a point of saying while supplies last, it usually means they're going to sell out of something fairly quickly. The Hippest Hippos stamp set is adorable. I don't know that that's going to be the one thing that sells out. I think it's going to be these dies. These are the hippo dies. They match and they have some extra fun extras. You know, the scuba diving gear. You've got your sunglasses. You've got your umbrella, your flower, your boat, your bathtub, or whatever that is that you choose to make. They have some great samples in here, and I'm going to be providing some great samples over the next couple of weeks too. I'm actually going to be doing a great class coming up. So I've already started it, but let's see how this card is going to do. Let's get right to stamping since we don't have all day. I have card class tonight and I'm really excited about that. If you live around here or if you ever want to get the tutorial, I usually post it online. Okay, let me stop promoting myself and tell you that you are going to love this card if I can help it. Okay, so first of all, this again is the card. So isn't this adorable? It's so adorable. The little elephant parade, the elephant with the flower. You've got your grass, and then it's on the fern embossing folder. I didn't measure anything. I just have cut some paper. I've decided that we are going to do the hippos in purple. And the reason I chose purple is because I know there are several purple fanatics out there. I happen to be partial to yellow and green, but I do like purple too. It's just not one of my favorites. So anyway, I had a scrap of purple paper here. The only thing I knew that it was 3.5 inches wide, which is just slightly larger than this Splatters embossing folder, which fits in the mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. So I'm going to kind of center that in there because I know that it's 3 and what did I say, 3.5 inches? I think I said 3.5 inches. You know, I don't have my ruler here because I took it to work to write up some tutorials, but I do know it's 4 3/4 inches. So I think it's 3.5 by 4 3/4 inches. I'm going to follow the little recipe that these base plates have. So I know because I'm going to be die cutting, actually I'm going to use this folder for that, I think. You know what? It's always an adventure with me. We're going to see. No, that's too wide. So let's try it with this one. I think this, with the embossing folder, because it's a 3D, we're going to use this one. I'm not taking the time to read it, so that doesn't help ever. Oh, for Pete's sake. Okay. Insert the embossing folders. You do it with 1 and 3. So where is my plate 3? Oh, right here. 1 and 3. Oh, and this is a 3D, so we're going to get rid of 1 and we're going to do it with 1 and 4. Okay, you know what? This is pathetic. I'm so sorry. I should know better than to try and do this, but it's not going to work because it's not thick enough. And I'm missing a plate. So anyway, follow the directions on here. Make sure you have all your plates if you're going to go live. That's my key. Okay, so next what I'm going to do, I have some plates. This is Highland Heather. I had one already cut. So we have here let's put this out of the way for a second. We have our card. So let me see. Hang on 1 second. Sorry, you can't make a card without having it embossed, and obviously I needed to emboss it with the other machine. So here's the Splatters 3D embossing folder. I really like that. So I am going to just attach this to my Highland Heather card before I lose it, because today that would be the kind of thing I do. Hope you guys are having a good day. I live just north of Boston, and it's kind of getting a little humid here. It's not terrible. We've had worse, but it is kind of a little bit humid. Okay, next, I have a scrap here, and I've got my basic white cardstock with my Stampin' Pad. I've got my Memento ink. First thing I'm going to do, I chose this hippo. You'll see it when I stamp it, but there are 3 of the hippos. Look at how cute these are. This is just the one that's just kind of standing there and dancing. I decided that one would probably be the best one to sit inside my boat. So that's what we're going to do. I've already die cut the largest Stylish Shapes circle. So we're going to keep that there. And the reason I said I did that was because I was thinking with the boat and the hippo, I was going to need a little bit more room. I could have stamped this directly on the circle, but I want to make sure that if the circle is smaller, that I can pop him up ahead, above the circle. I used one of our embossing folders. I believe this is the timber embossing folder. And I have oh, you know what? I almost don't think I needed to do it, but this is one of the dies that I was talking about. It's the boat die. It's already got a little bit of embossing that you can do with it. Let me move this out of the way for a second. Most of this is going to be embossing, I have to say. Not embossing, is die cutting. But, okay, so we have our two plates, our two clear plates, and I'm going to sandwich a scrap of soft suede in between. And like I said, I did this with the timber embossing folder already, with a scrap of soft suede. Let's see how this is going to work. I haven't used these dies or anything yet, so this is all kind of brand new. So you guys are discovering this with me. Because it went through the embossing machine, it kind of flattened it out, but you can see that there is a little bit of detail, a little bit of wood detail to the boat, because I had already previously embossed it, but it did lose a lot of the detail, I have to say. Let's set that aside for a second, and I've got my little metal plate with all of these. Let's bring this back in for one more second, and I'm going to die cut my hippo. And the reason I want to die cut him ahead of time is because I always like to die cut him before I color him, because I hate to waste all that time coloring him and then realize that he moved on me and I have to stamp him again. Now what I like to do is use a post-it note, and I have a scrap right here, and I'm going to hold my die in place with the post-it note. I know you guys are going to have to either check back or stay with me to see how this card is going to turn out, because I think it's going to be so adorable. Okay. There we go. Move this out of the way again. I've got my die cut hippo. Let's put my thing back in there. So my hippo was all ready to color. I'll get to that in a second. I just realized there's a couple more things I wanted to die cut. On this, there's a little boat, and I decided this boat, that could be an anchor. It's not an anchor. I decided it was a life preserver. So I have in here, I'm just going to keep this right here because I'm really going to do a lot of die cutting for a second. I've got a piece of white twine that I'm going to use to attach the life preserver to the side of the boat. I don't know if you do that or not. I guess not. Maybe not, but we're attaching it to the side of the boat because I already have that there. Okay, I have some pumpkin pie cardstock here. You can kind of see that. I figure my life preservers a lot of times are either like orange or red. And I think I decided that I wasn't going to do red, and I took it back out. So it's orange, pumpkin pie. Let's put that scrap out of the way. I've got my little life preserver cut out. And don't forget take your pick tool with the brush at the end, or your tool where you can actually put in the piercing side to poke this out. So, okay, there's my little life preserver. I'm gonna put that by the boat. Actually, I should probably, if I was gonna be smart, I'd probably attach it to the side of the boat before I lose it. Let's take a glue dot. I know I put glue dots in my thing. Sorry, this looks like a big mess. This is how I stamp, guys. I really just have fun just taking things apart and hoping for the best. So I'm going to put this linen thread behind and attach it to the side of the boat. Just like that. And I'll probably use a dimensional and do something with that later. But let's do that there so we have it. Okay, so now I have a strip of balmy blue cardstock. And with that, I am going to cut the little water line. There is a die, and it looks like waves or water. I think if you look at the catalog, oh, I gotta put a second plate here. If you look at the catalog right here, it's almost like they did the negative of it. But I'm gonna do, well, we're gonna see. I'm gonna put it right in the middle, and I'll decide which side I'm gonna use. I'm only doing one strip of the balmy blue. And what I'm gonna do is do this almost comparatively to this card where I have the grass. So instead of grass, I'm going to have the water. So, and I'll probably have to, oh, the dogs are at it. There's probably a dog outside. That's usually what happens. Oh, that's kind of cute. So I'll figure out the length of that in just a second, and I can snip it with my paper snips. But let's just set that aside. Oh, there's some water splatters. Wouldn't that be fun? Let's put some water splatters there in the picture too. I've got more room on the end of my balmy blue here. You could always extend this die. I could always move it down and extend it and have a longer length of water. But because I'm going to be putting this over the circle anyway, I don't really need that much length, I'm thinking. If I was going to do more of a full-size card, that might be. Okay, well, this is good to know. For some reason, I was hoping it was going to be just 3 splatters, you know, just all connected together, and it's not. It's actually, let me show you, like that. So there's my splatters, which means they're going to get lost. So let me put them up here and hope for the best when I attach them. Okay, so my blue is over here. Next, isn't this fun? I'm having fun with this. Next, I already cut some sunglasses because I was a little worried that these were going to get lost. I'm going to show you what I did instead. So maybe what I should do next, just so that I can attach the sunglasses, is color my hippo. So let's color the hippo, which I put right over here. When I color with my blends, I always make sure, yeah, I've got a lot going on, guys. This table, this is what my craft room looks like when I get going. It's just a big mess. Okay, because I'm very creative. That's a good sign of a creative mind. So I like to use the catalog as an idea book, ideas of how to best color these guys. So what I'm going to do, I think I am going to do, see, this one is a little bit more crumb cake, but I'm going to do the gray one, I think. I'll do the gray one. I have here the light smoky slate, and this is going to take me just a second to do this. And then I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. When I do this, I like to use my color lifter. Rather than shading with light and dark, I use my color lifter to take the color back out. So I'm just going to color the main part of the hippo, the legs. I'm going to avoid his torso right here for a second. Let's go like this. I'll probably, I should probably give him some blue eyes because my hippo has blue eyes. And he's going to have some beautiful pink ears. Okay, let me go like this. I'm going to avoid the little circles, which is probably the nostrils, the snout. And I'm going to color that with, I like to use light flirty flamingo for my, you know, the ears of the sheep, the ears of the elephant, the ears of the hippo. So light flirty flamingo. And if you find that light flirty flamingo is too bright still, then you can always, oh, this is a strip that I need too. Can't lose that. You can always use your color lifter and make it lighter. So let's put a little bit of pink here. It's a little pink in his ears, flirty flamingo, light flirty flamingo, in his mouth. Oh, you know what I wanted to do? I was going to do a little bit around his stomach too, just on the inside, just like that. And then, okay, let's get our color lifter. I love using this color lifter. It's almost like magic, you know? So I'm going to use it to lift a little bit around the edges of my thing. And then, maybe a little bit, you know, he almost doesn't need it lifted around his face. He actually looks kind of cute. If I want to, I could take a little bit off of the pink, like I said, just lighten it up just a tiny bit. What do you think? Should he have pink fingernails too? You know, I kind of wish, hang on a second, we're going to give him some Poppy Parade finger and toenails. I think our little guy should have some nail polish. I'm probably going to regret this, just to let you know, because when I do things like this, I think I'm trying to be cute and I end up ruining it, but not bad. Kind of cute, kind of adorable. Okay, so that's light Poppy Parade, light Flirty Flamingo, light Smoky Slate, and then I use the color lifter a little bit around the edge of the belly. Okay, now what I want to do is give him some sunglasses. He's going boating out in the sun. So let's give him some sunglasses. I did two things. There's two things you could do. I already cut this one. What I did was, when you cut with the sunglasses, it again cuts just the outline. So you're left with two lenses and you're left with the outline of the sunglasses. And this is what it looks like when you've just cut the outline. So the black isn't there. I am going to cut the lenses, but you have to see what I'm going to do. So I decided there's two ways I could do this. I could just glue this to another solid piece of Blushing Bride cardstock and then trim around it. And that's what I did there. And then I added the black. Or I've decided, I had some scrap from last week's Facebook Live with thanks, where I had put the adhesive on the back. So I have some Parakeet Party, which I decided was going to be more celebratory, I would say, than pink. I'm not a big pink fan. Contrary to what people may believe, I don't think too many people are surprised about that actually, but okay, let's give him, you know what? He's not going to get sunglasses. He looks so cute with the spectacles. Look at how cute that is. He could, I don't want to cover up his eyes, but if I did want to, you know what I'm going to show you? I'm going to show you an idea. So I'm going to cut this out for just a second. Maybe I will have to do this and we can do another one with the spectacles. Okay, let me put this back in here. Where is my, I like to use this cabinet liner. It's really good to keep this from slipping and sliding. Okay, I've got my white base plate. I've got my two clear plates. I'm going to cut just the sunglasses. And what I'm going to do for this one is cut the lenses. So let me find right here my sunglass die. And then I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. I found a way to put these lenses in really, really easily. So let's move this, take this off, and there's my two sunglass lenses. You got to be very careful. With all these little dies, you really are going to want to make sure that you have a little metallic magnetic bowl to catch all these little dies. So I'm keeping that very close by. Now what I was going to do is what was I going to do? I'm kind of losing everything here all of a sudden, and I was worried that that was going to happen. Okay, so here's my guy. Oh, I did want to do one other thing. I'm going to use my Balmy Blue ink and my blending brush. Good thing I don't have a huge studio that I have to go so far across the room for. I'm going to just really quickly, before I attach my hippo and then attach the spectacles, I'm just going to give a little bit of sky here, which could also be water actually. So we'll just do the whole thing. Why not? I guess I could have, see how I did that? All the smudges. You don't want to do that. So I'm going to make sure that I cover that up with the boat and the water. Okay, so next, let's see. I'm going to put my hippo here. Maybe I should know where the boat is going to go. So the boat's going to go here. Oh, so adorable. I can tell already. I don't think we need the rope for this, but because I've already put it on, we're keeping it on. And I'm going to put, here, I'll just do a little, this with a dimensional. I'm going to attach that and pop up the boat. So let's just do that tiny bit right there. I got my 2 dimensionals. I just ordered about 20 packages of dimensionals again, because I am telling you, I go through this stuff like water. Isn't that crazy? Okay, maybe we're going to, before we attach that, figure out the water. So let me just cut a length, because it doesn't really matter. Even if it's longer than my circle, it's going to be fine. Okay. I think I'm just going to glue this rather than pop this up. And I have no idea what I'm doing here, or even really what this is going to, how this is going to look. I have an idea of how I'd like it to look, but this is all the first time I'm using these dies and doing anything with it. So let's see. Let's go like that. We'll just put them there. Okay, isn't that cute already? Okay, I've got my life preserver. I was going to do the glasses. Okay, let me find. I'm going to use my take your pick tool, and I'm going to use the putty side. And what I'm going to do is just add, so I'm committed to this now unless I use some. I'm just going to put a dab of glue right in both eyelids, right in the sunglasses. And then I'm going to use the putty side of the take your pick tool. And I think I'm going to be able to, there is a right and a wrong side for this, and I think I can tell, we'll see. I kind of feel like this one is going to go right here. See how easy I'm just plopping it in there? That was really cool. So the putty side, just put your dot of glue, make sure you've got the adhesive so that, oh, he moved on me. I guess maybe I don't have enough glue in there, or maybe I didn't stick it enough. There we go. Okay, there he is. So cool. Okay, so now I've got my splatter here. So I've got that kind of like this. We're going to pop up the circle, I think. Let me go back to, no, we're not going to pop up the circle. We're just going to attach it just like that. So we've got our purple. This is really cuter than I could have even imagined. I don't know if you guys feel this way, but boy, oh boy, so adorable. And you know what? I have to say, okay, so here I've got this where it says, I'll never forget your kindness. And I've got a little, you know, the banner across. So I cut some fresh freesia, and I was going to do that. I almost don't know if I'm going to put that on. Let's try it, because I did bring the stamps, and I've got my memento ink. I have 2 stamps, and I'm not sure which one there's one that says love you a ton, which would be so adorable. Or there's another one, the other one says you're so hip, and I think that's really cute too. So let me think, you know, this, I'm looking at this really should, I'm going to be sorry I do this too, but really that has to go down so that it's, okay, there we go. So now I am going to do this because I'm going to end up covering up where I just kind of ripped that. Okay, so what do I want to say? You're so hip, or love you a ton? I think we're going to do you're so hip, because any hippo that has sunglasses, and I'm sorry, you guys are probably weighing in, and I hope you do, and I'll see if you agree. My little hippo with his sunglasses looking so cool has to be so hip. I wish it was a longer sentiment. It really isn't quite long enough, but that's okay. Okay. Memento ink. Let me get that out of the way, and we're going to stamp you're so hip on my fresh freesia strip. It's like 3/4 of an inch, and it's the width of the card, so it's probably 4 1/4 inches. So 3/4 by 4 1/4 inches. I'm gonna put it on. I gotta stand up. I don't know about you guys, but I don't stamp sitting down if I can at all help it. There you go. It would have done better if I had stamped. You know what? I have to do a better job than that stamping. Better. Okay. That's why God created two sides of the paper. For the time that you mess up, you can fix it. Okay. I'm going to pop this up just like it's popped up on this card. Let's add a couple of dimensionals to the back. And if Judy is watching, I'm not going to take off every single backing because I don't need to. I'm only kidding. She said, why didn't you ever share that with me? And I feel like I share that all the time, but maybe I'm wrong. You don't need to take every single one off because most of them have at least a couple of placeholder dimensionals. Let's go like that. Okay, now because he's in the boat, remember I still have my water spots. So let's see. I'm going to move this out of the way, you know, because I'm not sure how to attach the water. I can use my book as the idea. Look at this. You've got your idea book right there telling you how best to attach the water splatters. So we're going to do one over here with a dot. We're going to do one over here and one over there. And I'm just adding tiny little dots of glue. And then I'm going to take your pick tool and the putty side again. And I'm going to pick up my splatter. And I don't know if I need splatter or if it looks a little ridiculous or not. But you know what? I loved the die, so I decided I'm going to figure out how to use it. So, oops. Isn't that so cute? I don't know about you guys, but I just love this card. I hope you do too. So adorable. This card has a little piece of linen thread or twine. I took a piece of linen thread and I might just attach that right here on this end because I've got that wide open spot. I've got my glue dots right here. Let me just pull one. Attach this right over here. I've already pre-tied the bow. Okay. You know what? This is getting really picky, but I kind of feel like it's too long. There we go. And there's the card. Voila. So this is what you call casing. It's very similar. It's not the same. Like I said, it does look like this is about the same. Isn't that funny? I honestly just took a scrap. It was the width of it that I knew. So I knew when I do like 3.5, it's by 4 3/4. There's a difference of about 1 1/4 inches length times width if you're doing it on the front of a card, just to make it look even and fully covering the card. So I don't know. You guys might have to tell me which is your favorite. This little elephant, he's talking to me. He's just so sweet. But look at this cool hippo too. So adorable. So anyway, I'll have the recipe for this card, not for the elephant card, because I didn't really show that, but I'm going to have the recipe for this one. I am going to start including the tutorial if people place an order. So you can always go back and listen to how I've done the measurements. Of course, the standard card base 5.5 by 8.5, I scored at 4 1/4. 3.5 by 4 3/4 top, and then I embossed it with the splatters embossing folder. 3/4 by 4 1/4 inch banner here, and then the rest I did the largest stylish shaped circles, and the rest is just little pieces, and I used the dies just to build my fun card. So I'm gonna flip back up and say thank you so much. Oh yes, Rose, I figured you'd like the hippo. You seem like the cool type to me, but I do love the elephant, and I have to say I do love Coastal Cabana too, but that cool cool hippo is definitely talking to me too. So anyway, I hope you guys have a great night. I have card class tonight. Looking forward to seeing my ladies again. I will see you guys next week at 5 p.m. with another one. And I think soon I'm going to start doing some online workshops where I will feature at least 3, if not 4 cards, just like I do here in the studio, so you guys can come to my card class virtually. I'll see you soon. Have a wonderful weekend. Bye, guys.